Welcome, viewers and subscribers, once again to the eastern wing of the Stink Bug Works, that super secret research and development division of Dr. Jet Laboratories, where we make stuff and invent things. Anyway, you saw the Silver Bullet run the last time. It's getting much, much better. My big problem now is those stupid birds that get in the way, and I can't really get one full lap in. I had a problem with my turn fin, and so what I did was I reinforced the end of the sponson. I put a heavy-duty turn fin bracket on, and this nice shiny turn fin. Now that turn fin is actually stainless steel. It's made from this here piece of stainless steel that I happen to have lying around, and this is how strong your turn fin is supposed to be. You know, you should be able to do this all day long. And I can. To glue this piece on, this piece was actually from a sample of 2mm by 3K twill carbon fiber. And I drilled the holes for the mounting bracket, and then I put 3mm threaded lock nuts in there, tightened everything down, and when I put the hex head bolts in, I greased them real well, and then when they came out the nut, I applied a thin layer of grease with a toothpick. And then here's the deal. To glue these together, so now I've got this bolted to this, and this backside has been sanded rough, you know, to give it some tooth. Then what I did is the backside of the sponson, I marked where this piece would go, and I took a Dremel tool with like a ball end mill, and I kind of roughed up the whole area. Then I drilled a bunch of holes through there, and then I drilled the holes for the bolts. Then I take epoxy, and I have, you know, a big thing that I bought of ground fiberglass. I know Big B, he likes to cut up his own fiberglass. I just buy it in bulk, pre-ground, and I have a lifetime supply of it, you know, for one package. Anyway, I mix it into a paste that would still kind of flow out a little bit. And then what I did was through the hole in here, I smeared some on the back side of the sponson, and then actually, let's go back a bit. You got to wet this out first with just pure epoxy, no filler. Just wet it out enough that, you know, you get a good contact surface on both sides. Then you mix in the fiberglass, make the paste, and apply some of the paste on the inside. Apply it liberally here, liberally around the nuts. Push it into place, tape it into place, and then put it vertical so this stuff will all flow. Because remember, this stuff it's still flowing in 5 hours. So it stops flowing in about 8 or 9 hours and takes a good 24 hours to go off. So just leave it like this, and it all pools down here, and now this sucker is razor sharp. I used one of those whetstone hones, and I mean, I can shave with this thing. So there it is. It's ready to go. So enough discussion of that. A quick discussion of this. This is now ready to run. I was going to take it out to the pond, but the speed control I put in there was an airplane speed control that could not be programmed for pistol use. So I said, heck with it. And I got this this cool little 15 amp speed control off eBay. And what's really cool about it is the short leads. It's got a nice short lead here to the receiver and a short lead to the battery, so everything can stay nice and neat. I just used E6000 and I spread the glob out there that if I need to, I can get my thumb under this and just roll it off if I ever need to get this separated. For this thing's lifespan, that's going to be good enough. What I do now with the battery is I just tape it in place right here when I'm ready to go. I've cut the backside or the underside of the hatch here to give me room to move the battery fore and aft, although from preliminary balance tests, it looks like it's going to have to go right there at the aft end. So there you go. It all fits under the cover. It's ready to rock and roll. So it's ready to go. So what next? Well, what's next is right here. This is the Dead Ahead RC Timmy. I believe this is the Timmy. And I got a warp here in the hatch. And I think I'm not going to use that hatch. I think I'm just going to put a flat hatch on here and something. Originally, I was going to use this as a riverboat, to go up and down rocky, rivers and the like. And I said, you know what? I won't have much use for it then. It'll just sit around. And I've always liked the idea of a rescue boat that has a pull behind leaf rake. And you could leaf rake up your stranded boat by pulling it. Pushing it always has some problem of steering and things just don't work right. If you're pulling it, it's going to go where you're pointed, no matter what happens. So I'm seriously contemplating using this as the rescue boat for larger victims. Now I have the John Deere Leaf Rake 5000, and it works well for small boats. But this thing, for example, note here on the cooling line, it's got a doubler on there. You see that, Big B? Anyway, for this, it might have a hard time pushing it but pulling it, it's always going to go in the center between the pulling point and the center of wherever that wants to be. So that's what I'm going to do. So here's the plan. This is where we're inventing things and making stuff. I am going to use, let me get this out of the way, but someplace where it's not going to crash and burn. The plan is this. I'm going to use this jet drive. But what I'm going to do with this jet drive is I'm going to build out of, I've got 16th and 1/32nd G10 sheets. So out of the 1/16th G10 sheet, I'm going to make a large square that goes beyond here and cut the opening in here, drill the holes for here, get this thing all situated on there. And this, on this plate here, will then glue into here. But on this plate, now it's sitting on a G10 plate, about like this. I'm going to take another piece of G10 and machine it to fit this hole and these screws and bolt it up against here. And I'll cut this to match this piece. So I can turn this whole thing over and drop it in place like that. Then what'll happen is I'll cut the opening for the water inlet, but I'm also going to take a piece of aluminum channel and I'm going to, just so it fits just slightly outside of here, I'm going to make an aluminum channel with a bend here 90 degrees and a bend here 90 degrees and have them stick out about a quarter, 3/8 of an inch and go all the way back to where it doesn't interfere with the reverse bucket. Yes, I am going to use the reverse bucket because this is going to be a rescue boat, so I want reverse on it. So I'll have these skids coming back here that will do two things. One, they'll act as a fin to keep things straight. Two, if I do run this thing in real shallow, rocky things, it'll prevent rocks and such from banging into here, and it'll give me some sort of support and some support out here for the business that's going to hang off the back here, because this is going to hang off the back and it's going to have the ability to do this. And so, you know, I'm going to try to have the metal skids beyond there, and I'll end the plate before there. It'll be complicated, but it'll be cool because it'll be jetted. So that's my plan for this boat. This is the same thing as I have in the Silver Bullet, only a lower KV. I don't have a home for it. And this is an 1105 2Y smooth with a 5mm shaft. Now, because of the way this motor is constructed, you see the end bell is held on with screws here on the outside. I really can't get a water jacket on here, so I'm going to have to use a conventional coil system. But this is going to go into, I'm not sure what. To tell you the truth, I was actually thinking of using, not necessarily this specific motor. This is a pretty high KV motor. This is a 2S motor. But I was thinking of using a 3S version of this, a 2Y, in the shrimp boat. So that was some thoughts. So anyway, enough of Dr. Jet rambling on in the morning. I thought I'd fill you in on projects ready to run, next thing up on the board. I told Josh I would do this next. It's next, and it's going to be my rescue boat. Okay, boys and girls, until next time, Jet out.